Hello viewers. Today we will be seeing how to install the needed software to perform hacking. So first we'll go with downloading VirtualBox for Windows. So once we go for VirtualBox for Windows, the first one we are going to see here, downloads. Click on that. So here we are going to have packages for different operating system we require for Windows. So click on this. It will download the VirtualBox. So takes a couple of seconds to download this VirtualBox. So this VirtualBox is the place where you can install different operating systems to practice, like Kali Linux. Maybe if you want to work with another operating system to explore the hacking activities, it is always advised to use VirtualBox rather than your machine. Now, in the downloads, you can see .exe file VirtualBox. So click on this. Click on yes. Then it will open up with a window for installing. Click on next, 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 yes, install. So it take a minute or two to finish the installation of this VirtualBox. So after installation, you can click on finish. It will start the VirtualBox. So it will open up the VirtualBox. You can see, you can get a VirtualBox manager like this. So now this is the place where we are going to create a virtual machine as per our requirement. So we need Kali Linux. So next we will be downloading the Kali Linux. So go for Google. So here I'll be searching for Kali Linux download. So go for the official website, get Kali Linux. Click on this official website. So it will be showing this different platform-based virtual machines. So since we require a customized one, we'll go with this bare metal. This is recommended. So click on this recommended. So if you move down, you can see the bare metal here. Sorry. So in this bare metal, we are having a 64-bit installer. So we are going to download this complete offline with the customizable one. This is what we are going to download. Click on download. Once the Kali Linux is downloaded, you can see the ISO file downloaded in the downloads page. Now I'll be going for a VirtualBox. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine. Right, going for the machine, clicking on the new. So I'll be giving the name Kali Linux. The type of operating system, it is Linux, and we are going for Debian 64 version. So keeping it Debian 64. And this is the folder. If you want to install in C drive or any other drive, you can install this virtual machine there. So click on next. So here you can go for RAM size or memory size that is required for your Kali machine. So I'm preferring around 1.5 GB depending upon my memory space. It should not be allocated complete space because your original operating system will be very low. It will be affected. So up to this green mark, you can allocate the space. Beyond this, there is an increased risk of allocation. Nothing but your system will hang on. So click on next. So here, go for the option create a virtual hard disk now. Next. So asking for what type of file it is. It is a virtual disk image file, ISO file. So keep the selection on this. Click on next. Then it will be asking for physical hard disk size, how much hard disk space you have to allocate for this operating system. So dynamic allocation I'm choosing. Click on next. So in that dynamic allocation, I'll be keeping it around some 40 GB. Around 40 GB. Depending on your hard disk size, you can allocate this. Around 10 to 20% of your hard disk size you can allocate. Create. So you can see here the Kali Linux machine is created. Now we'll move for settings. In the settings, you can see the basic. So no modifications on this. Just check the name Kali Linux and version Debian 64-bit. Next, go for system. As we have already given the memory space requirement for this, or the RAM allocation for this Kali Linux. Then next, I'll be enabling EFI. This is for special OSs only. So we'll be enabling this EFI. Then next we'll go for processor. So how many cores it can use? So I'm using 2 cores. Sometimes some functionality, heavy functionality may be required. So I'm using 2 CPUs. So 1 CPU is also preferable. So acceleration, nothing to change. Coming to display, you can increase the video memory allocation. So if you want the clarity in any video, audio visuals, then you can choose to increase this. The next, coming for storage. So you can see there is empty here, control IDE. So here we have to add the disk image. So add optional drive. Click on add. A moment. Sorry. Coming to this storage, go for this controller IDE. It is empty. There you can go to the right side. You can see choose a disk file, click on this and move to the downloads where you have downloaded this ISO file, Kali Linux. So this downloaded ISO file, you can open it. Then next, click on audio, nothing to change. Click on network. So we'll be using a NAT network. Select this NAT network. So we can also configure it later. In the next session, I'll be showing that. Then serial ports, nothing to change. USB. If you want to connect any USB devices, you are going to configure here. Any shared folders and user interfaces, nothing to modify. Click on OK. Right. So now you are going to start this machine. Right. Once we have set the settings, then we'll start the Kali machine by keeping the selection on this. Click on start. Now you can select this graphical install and hit the enter button. So here mouse option will not work. Try to go with hitting the enter button. Then you can see a series of commands going on the black screen. Then it will open up for language selection. So the comfortable language is English. Going for continue. Then the location you can select. So the location where I'm now, I'm selecting this. Then next keyboard, American English I'm using. Then next it will go for disk selections where you are going to install this Kali Linux software for all the components that are going to be installed. It may take a minute or two. It's taking time. Now the host name it is asking for the system, so I can go with any name, user choice. And the configure with the domain name if I'm having any domain names for this organization. If I'm meant for installing this Kali Linux for any particular organization, I can choose the domain name for that organization. But for us, it is not required. Just leave it blank and continue. So set up username and passwords, giving the username. This time giving username as my name. Click on continue. Then it will ask for creating a password. So password should contain a mix of letter, number, and punctuation and should be changed at regular intervals. So I'm just typing Gopi 123. Click on continue. Setting up the clock, detecting the disk, and partitioning the disk will be automatically done. Now, so it's a guided method. The first option we will be choosing using entire disk for partitioning, and all the data on the disk you have selected will be erased. So whatever the virtual box have created some 43 GB, so this will be erased and this fresh operating system will be loaded. So all files in one partition. It is recommended for new users. You can select this. Then you can click on continue. So whatever the changes that have been made so far, it is asking to continue or not. Yes. Write the changes to the disk. Now this will take some time. Right. Once you have gone through this continue session, it will end up here, going for software selection. So you have Kali is supporting multiple platforms like Xenon, KDE, Plasma also. These are not selected. Generally, these are used for intrusion prevention or detection systems. So let me leave as it is and continue. So there are this many files. It may take some time. Depending upon the spec of your system, it may take the time. So we have downloaded the virtual box, and then next we have downloaded the Kali Linux beta version. The ISO file. And we have gone with the settings required for it. And then we started the installation of this Kali Linux in our virtual box. Right. After installing, it may take up to 30 minutes. I have skipped this 30 minutes. And you can see installation complete. So please choose continue to reboot. So when you click on continue, it will reboot. So at the rebooting, you can, as I said, you cannot click this capture. So right, it is asking for username and password, which we have created. That is, username I have created is Gopi, and the password I have created is Gopi123. Click on login. So you can see this. Kali Linux screen. So here are different options to explore. So here you can see the applications, different applications that you can use for performing hacking. So this is information gathering. These are the various applications that are used, or the tools that are used for gathering the information with respect to a network or any web application. And these are the tools that are used for vulnerability analysis. And these are the tools that are used for web application analysis. For database assessment, you'll be using this SQL map. So these are the password attacks. You can attack the passwords. To crack the passwords, you can use these tools. So wireless attacks, any Wi-Fi network, if you want to hack, you can use these tools. So exploitation tools, sniffing, post-exploitation, forensic tools. So like this, you can have a number of tools available. So if you want to turn off this, you can go for log out the session or shut down. And you can close this. And here it will be asking, save the machine state, send the shutdown signal and power off the machine. So just I'm choosing the power of the machine. Okay. Right. So again, if I want to start, so I'll be opening the VirtualBox, which is installed in my Windows operating system, and then I will be selecting this Kali Linux and click on start. So once I click on start, it will be running the virtual machine. I'll be clicking this, capture OK. So it will be asking for username and password. This is the terminal window. So here we are going to give the instructions that are required for it, like if config okay. So there should not be any gap between if and config. So if config, it will show your Ethernet details.